Hey guys, good morning all. Welcome to the new batch of DevOps class. Today what we are going to learn about the DevOps trends, DevOps engineering trends, and how it is working in the market, right? And why it is so demand and what you will get after learning the DevOps and what is the salary people are getting. All these details we will discuss in today's class. Okay. So this is actually one of the introduction class. After that, what will happen? We'll just talk about what exactly DevOps is and the complete overview on the DevOps today. And from the upcoming classes, from the next classes, we'll talk about different tools, whatever we have, decided to learn. And the entire class will be in English actually. So because few people had opted from USA and they may not join for this. If they join, that's okay. The entire class will be in English. And if they don't join, that's okay. We'll do it in English and Hindi. Okay. So little bit Hindi and English. So Python. Okay. So let's start with the introduction class. First, let me introduce myself. Okay. So I'm Ranjit Swain and I have more than 16 plus years of experience in IT industry. So I have worked with multiple domains, multiple technologies, multiple tools, started with multiple highly demanded MNCs companies. Okay. So currently I'm working as an architect and DevOps engineer, one of the MNCs in India. So as I said, I have more than 5,000 students across the globe, which I have trained them and still continuing. Last 6 years, I'm just into this coaching industry and coaching the people. Okay, all the classes, whatever we'll take, it will be interactive classes. Okay, all interactive classes with the real-time projects starting from the scratch. Like, see, this is not like for an intermediate classes. This is not an expert classes. It will be from beginner to expert classes. So I'll make sure that you'll become an expert starting from the root. Okay. So you don't think that, see, anyway, every time in my class, I used to tell people, if you have decided to learn something, don't quit it in between. If you quit it in between, then you will not learn anything. See, any field, not only in DevOps or not only in IT field, in any field, any way, in your personal life also, if you have decided to do anything, just do it, right? Don't stop it in between. Don't break it. Okay. So that's why. And after the most important things is the dedications, right? The determination and dedications you have to show if you are going to learn something. Otherwise, it will not work. That is the most important things I always tell my people. You have to show your dedication when you are going to learn something. So let me share my screen. Okay. So what we'll discuss today, we'll discuss about the DevOps engineering, its trends and the predictions and the career transition, right? So what is the DevOps engineering? What is the trends going on and how we can predict the market, the future of the DevOps, right? And what is the career in DevOps, right? All these things we are going to discuss now, right? So guys, so let's just start with this class. So, what is DevOps? First, let's learn what is DevOps, right? So, DevOps is a software development approach which involves continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring. So, everything, the word you'll be seeing that continuous, right? That's mean the automations, whatever we are going to do, it will be continuous to the entire life cycle, entire development life cycle. So DevOps is a software development approach which involves continuous development, testing, integrations, deployment, and monitoring, right? Throughout the software development life cycle. So most of you, at least, would know how the software development life cycle works, right? Starting from the beginning, right? Requirement gathering, requirement analysis, right? System designing, right? Software development, then testing, then it goes to the quality check and then productions, right? All this phase has to be done continuously. So what will happen here? Let's understand more into the DevOps. So most of the guys, they understand that is a myth, like DevOps is a technology, right? People say DevOps is a process, or technology is a methodology. No, it's not. DevOps is not a technology. It's not a methodology or nothing. It's simply a culture to follow. It's simply a mindset, right? It's a mindset and the approach towards the automations. How you want to automate, how you want to automate the stuffs. That is what you are going to learn. The entire class will speak about the mindset, will speak about how we are going to achieve that using various tools. So people says like DevOps is only a single tool, right? It's not actually a single tool. It's a group of tools. It's a set of tools. Even we can say it's a mindset. You have to decide what tool you have to use, what programming language you have to use to automate the stuff. So our main aim is to get continuous development, testing, monitoring, integrations, and all these things, right? How you achieve all this? हम लोग को कैसे ये सब अचीव करना है, ये हमको पूरी तरह ना जो डेवॉप्स का माइंडसेट है उसको हम लोग फॉलो करेंगे. तो माइंडसेट क्या है, कैसे हम लोग ऑटोमेशन करेंगे, राइट? How we'll do the automations, whether in any scripting languages, if you are good in shell script, or you are good in Python, or you are good in what, any tool, so you can just use that one to achieve your goal. Okay, so let's understand. I'll just give more real-time scenarios on this, right? So it's a collaboration between development operations. The name DevOps. So dev comes from the development, and operations, that's ops comes from the operations. That's called DevOps. It's a collaboration between development and operations. Operations is nothing but a production support, right? SRE guys, right? Those will be the operations team, right? So DevOps comes from development. Collaborations work between development and operations. So we know what is DevOps. Now, what is DevOps being used for? Where it is being used? DevOps aims to increase the ability to deliver the product at faster rate by reducing the efficiencies, improving customer satisfaction, improving service, as well as improving reliability. That is the most important things. Like, as I said before in my previous classes also, what I say, if you are going to learn any new thing, right, first you should know what is that, right? And why you want to learn it. After you learn it, how you have to implement it. What, why, how. You have to learn these three things, means whatever things you learn, okay, that will be perfectly suited for all your learnings and all your experiences, right? You have to first understand what is that, why you want to learn it, and how you have to implement it. Everything in real time, I'm just going to tell you how, after learning DevOps, how you will implement it. That is the most important things to learn in this class. Okay, so that's why DevOps aims to increase the ability to deliver the product at a faster rate. So how will achieve this faster rate? Because if everything goes continuously, right, the development happens continuously, the integrations happen continuously, the building happens continuously, the delivery happens continuously. So if everything continuously happens, then it will be faster always, right? So there will be faster by reducing efficiencies, improving customer satisfaction, and improving services. As we know, any field, if you're going to do any automations, what will happen? There is, what we'll get like less amount of bugs or errors in the code or errors in the product, because everything will be done by a machine or done by the code, right? So that you are going to get the product with high efficiencies and the customer satisfaction, right? That is the most important, which we are going to achieve using DevOps. So predictability, what we are going to get, predictability means during new releases, DevOps reduce the risk of failure, reduces the risk of failures, because that everything we are going to put in the DevOps automation first. So that is it will reduce the risk of failure. The next one will be reproducibility. It allows you to restore previous released versions at any time. Suppose if you're working in the IT industry, every time we use and upgrade our products, think about Facebook, think about LinkedIn or Twitter. What they do, they keep upgrading, they keep enhancing their features, right? So what they do, have you seen any time like there is a downtime with the Facebook or downtime with Twitter? Very rare, in case of very rare, minimum 0.0001% you could have heard about that. Only the very milliseconds there will be seconds will be there. Some slowness you might have found. So how they're achieving this kind of things? They follow entirely this DevOps, right? They will not find any slow time there. So it allows you to restore previous released versions at any time. If you have done any productions release, now in still people are doing also, companies are doing, because those who are not into DevOps things, still companies and still many companies there, what is the day have a downtime, their internal applications or their applications. They will just mention that you will not have, like some banks, you would have seen some notice, right? Or some messages like, we'll have our server will be down on this time, our applications will not be available from this to this time, right? That time they will be doing some upgradations or maintenance work or new features they might be adding there. But with DevOps, that can be also emitted, right? That can be done continuously. So in case of any, during the release, if anything you feel right, if there is any problem, anything mismatched, right, and you have to roll back to the previous version, you can immediately do that, right? That is the reproducibility. Maintainability. So maintainability means DevOps offers seamless recovery during any new release crash, which reproducibility and maintainability at the same time we discussed about. Time to market. So it effortlessly reduces the software delivery time up to 50%. If everything we do continuously and the automations happen, all the tools we engage, obviously the manpower will be reduced and the delivery will become very faster, and we'll deliver these things to the market highly, right? Effortlessly reduce the software delivery time up to 50%. Greater quality. Teams can easily improve the application development quality as DevOps improves infrastructure resources. So what happens here? Greater quality. How will quality? Earlier days, what people were doing, they a developer, what will be do? He will be develop the code. He'll do the unit testing. He'll do the build. After that, he'll just deliver it, right, for the testing environment. But now these things will be taken care by the tools in DevOps, right? So what the developer has to do, he has to focus on the quality of the code. He will not worry about the unit testing. He will not worry about the building, quality check and all. So he will just think about is the coding, right? In that way, what will happen? He will just focus on the coding part. So the coding rates also, it will increase faster, right? And the quality of the products also will increase. So greater quality will get it. And the resiliency. What is this? The operational state of the software system is more stable, secure, and changes are auditable. Anything in DevOps, after, right, from DevOps to dev to operations, from development to operations, right? Once the product is developed, built, quality check is done, it has to be go to productions, right? When it goes to the operational state, right? When it goes to the operational state, what will happen is more stable, secure, and changes are auditable, right? So there will be no issues. We have already seen that as DevOps, it will be no issues being found, right? It will be error free. It will be delivered right into the production, and any changes, any new feature added, or any things can be audited using in DevOps, as we are using lots of source code management or version control tools. Okay. Next is the cost efficiency. So In software development process can be cost effective using DevOps and allows IT companies to save money and increase profit. Obviously, right? If we do the work, whatever we are doing, 5 or 7 resources, employees by working on the steep stops, right? So we'll have the build engineer, integrations engineer, and all delivery engineer, and all this, right? We are going to reduce that time, and those things will be done by the tools, right? By the automations. Everything will be done in very faster way. So it will reduce the cost. It will save money and give profit to the company, right? So who is a DevOps engineer? So we know why should we use for, what is being DevOps used for. Now, who is a DevOps engineer? A DevOps engineer, a person who has strong collaboration skills and is willing to adapt to new technologies and methodologies in order to support the implementations of DevOps practices in an organization. So, what is said? In order to support the implementation of DevOps practices in an organization. So, the organization, the company, whoever is into the traditional development and traditional deployment and monitoring part, traditional way of delivering the product, a DevOps engineer can put his mindset, can put the DevOps practices into the organizations by seeing how we can automate the stops starting from the requirement analysis, gathering, system design until production. That is the DevOps engineer has to do. He has to collaboratively work and see where he can automate the stuff in order to increase the productivity, delivery with higher speed, right? So that the DevOps engineer does. No, people will be thinking like, do you have to do all of the codings? It's actually not exactly you have to do 100% coding, but still its coding is required, but that will be domain specific coding. What is domain specific? Suppose we are going to learn 6 tools. Each tool has different way of writing the code. Each tool has different way of writing code. Okay, there will be no match, and that will be very simple. Anyone can do that if you have the system knowledge and understand the logics and programming. That's all. It's not very rigorous to understand and write them. Okay. So from a technical perspective, a DevOps engineer should have a good understanding of systems, automation tools, continuous integration tools, version control system, monitoring, observability tools, networking, project management software. The roles of DevOps engineer involves designing, developing continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines that can handle small updates or releases with minimal manual intervention. Whatever for technical perspective is given here, DevOps engineers should have a good understanding of systems, automation tools, and continuous integration tool, version control system, software management, project management software. Everything we are going to learn in this class. After you finish this class, you will be part of a DevOps engineer, which you will have now the system understanding, automation tool understanding, continuous integrations, how we'll do all the tools, you will understand the version control systems, networking, project management software, everything. I'm just going to guide you with the real-time hands-on experience. So you'll feel like a DevOps engineer at the end of this class, and you can do whatever you want to set up DevOps practices in your organization. Okay, what it says, that's what a DevOps engineer will do, right? Now, there are top 7 DevOps trends. Let's understand what is the trends in the going, because most of the people will be seeing that is like DevOps, right? In different ways, different names they call it. That trends we need to understand, right? Don't get confused every time, because people are saying different names, different ways to handle the DevOps. As I said very beginning, it is a mindset. How you want to achieve your goal. which way you have to automate the stuff. It's up to your mind, your logic, your thought process, right? Now see, what is that? People call, there is one Tom's trend is called going on is the DevSecOps. The Dev Security Operations. Earlier we saw DevOps, Development Operations. Here it comes Development Security Operations, DevSecOps. What DevSecOps guys do? With security being one of the most significant concerns in the digital age, enterprises have integrated DevSecOps lifecycle to enhance it further. It has been used for streamlining the governance and observability as well. So every organizations, every IT industry, wherever we work, will the first main thing is to focus on the security part. Focus on the security part, right? Security part is most important. So that's why in the DevSecOps, we are integrating security. All these things we'll understand, whatever the tools, whatever the connections we are going to learn, everywhere we'll consider about the security also, right? The next one will be our serverless computing. Serverless computing. So in this faster world, everything is moving very fast, right? Everyone wants to be delivered faster. Even we want pizza to be delivered in 30 minutes, right? If not 30 minutes delivered, we are getting free, right? We are getting charged like where you do not deliver in time, right? Everyone wants faster delivery. So that's why the serverless computing. If you have a server, if a client sends a request, the server has to communicate, the server has to process and send back the request. So it will take some time to the process, right? If you're using the serverless computing, is a way to develop and run services and applications without taking servers into considerations, right? That means if a server will not be there and if you're sending a request to the client, it will be faster, right? It will automatically get processed and give you the details. Like there are few services being provided by the cloud computing in AWS. We talk about, we have the Lambda, which is the serverless computing platform. You just use it, will get very quick response because it does not have a server. If there is a server, if you follow the client server architecture, what will happen? The client will send the request to the server. Server has to process that request and send the result back. It will take some time, right? But with the serverless, it will be very fractions of seconds you'll get the result. That's the way the companies expect to deliver the product faster to the customer. Okay. The next one is the microservice architecture. This is very important, guys, in the market, in the current market. Most of the companies, organizations, they're actually going into the microservices architecture. So we need to understand what is microservices architecture. We'll also discuss, we have a chapter, we have a tool which we are going to learn on the microservices also. So microservice architecture, often referred to as microservices, is currently being extensively used in the IT sector. That is what I just told you, right? It's being extensively used in the IT market. Most of the companies now, they are into still monolithic architecture. We'll have a class to understand what is monolithic, what is microservices architecture in detail, right? In upcoming classes, we'll discuss on these things, right? So microservices architecture, and it customized to accommodate the latest DevOps market trends. Everyone wants to fall into microservices. It has very widely benefits in the software delivery, in the software development lifecycle. Okay. Next one is the AI ops. Yes, artificial intelligence has currently a very weak in the market. Everyone discusses about artificial intelligence, machine learning and all. What are those? Artificial intelligence is nothing but if-else conditions, right? If you would have done some programming, if it is matches this, then select this, else this one. If not, if else conditions, you just have to think about your artificial intelligence, how it works, right? If you would have seen in your mobile, right? If you have something started, purchasing in Amazon, you have some purchase in Amazon or Flipkart. what will happen? Whatever the things you have not purchasing, if you have seen something, scroll down some products, right? Next time when you log into your Facebook or Instagram or even Amazon, they'll show you that product, whatever you would have seen or searched for the product. If you have searched a product in Google, that product you'll get lots of varieties, lots of companies' product. You will get it in your mobile. If you're scrolling your Facebook, or scrolling your Insta or whatever it is, right? So that artificial intelligence has taken over the market, right? Most of the companies doing artificial intelligence, AI chatbots and all things, right? What is this AI ops? ML ops, machine learning ops, and AI ops are two of the most renowned trending DevOps tools currently in the market. AI ops helps automate the IT processes and operations, whereas ML ops strengthens the development systems of machine learning. Most of the things, actually, most of the even companies, they are putting artificial intelligence in Microsoft Excel. Microsoft also putting artificial intelligence. So how it is that happening? Just simple things. If you just type something nowadays, if you have seen, if you're typing something if you're writing some letter or some mail to somebody, if you're typing some word, it will automatically give you the sentence, right? That's artificial intelligence. What most of the things are implementing nowadays. So low code application. Many robust enterprises have adopted to low code DevOps approach, which has been quite beneficial for the team. So low code platforms helps companies to enterprise build applications without any expert coding knowledge. That is what I was telling, right? You'll be thinking you have to learn lots of coding and all. No, it's low code applications, but we are going to very minimal code you have to write with the domain specific, and that you will achieve your automations. We'll learn in detail of writing the codes. I'll guide you step by step on each field. Every field I'll guide you. Okay? Don't worry. The next one is the Git operations, GitOps. The GitOps happens to be one of the best DevOps new trends that have been added to the DevOps workflow. It helps control, monitor, and automate the infrastructure. So GitOps has various things, and we are going to learn this GitOps everything in this class also, right? Next one is the Kubernetes. This is what is actually one of the tool, and it's very high demand, as well as it's very tough to learn also. If you are not dedicated, if you're not focused, if you're not determined, not learn Kubernetes. Okay? Kubernetes is often abbreviated as K8. K8S, actually I forgot to add S. K8S. Kubernetes is an extensible and portable open source platform that helps in managing containerized services to workload. Using this, actually, we are going to achieve the microservices. We'll see how using the containerized platform, how using the containerizations, we are going to achieve the microservices. Okay, that we are going to see now. So what is the future of DevOps? Now we saw what is DevOps being used for, what is the current trends going on, what is the future of DevOps, right? So one is the adoption of microservices and containers. There are many software enterprises that are incorporating microservices infrastructure to come up with enterprise solutions independently over several services. That is what I was just talking before, the microservices in Kubernetes, right? So containerizations we are going to learn. We have heard about virtualization, right? How virtualizations help in the how virtualizations brought the revolutions into the IT market. Before virtualizations, we had only one system where people will be struggling to do all kind of applications. Your application stack, right? UI, database, everything, business logic, everything would be in one system. It was lots of problem was happening. No, we are delivering the product very late. Customer satisfaction was not there at all. Right? Lots of bugs, lots of issues, lots of resources. Employees were engaging. But when the virtualization came, it brought one very big revolutions into the IT market, right? It simplified all the productions, all the applications stack, creating multiple virtual machines. Similarly, in DevOps also, we are going to learn the containerizations, which again, a big revolutions in the IT market. That we are going to learn in detail in our class. Okay. Next one is the culture and the top prerequisites. Culture is an integral element in DevOps. That is why in the very first I told, DevOps is nothing but a culture to follow, a mindset, right? So that is what you have to think about. Very simple way I can tell. If you are communicating to a place, right? Suppose I am going from Bhubaneswar to Bangalore, right? I can choose by bus, by train, or by aeroplane. So you have to think, right? You have to follow what you need to do based on your requirement. If you have to attend a seminar and it's very quick, right? So what you have to follow? You don't have much time, right? You have another 4 hours to reach the 4 or 5 hours to reach the seminar. Then you have to choose definitely by air, right? You have to go because we don't have much time to spend by bus or by train. Then you have to choose airplane to fly. If you have much time, 1 day of time or 2 days of time, you can either go by train or by bus. Based on the compatibility, based on the time strength, based on the comfortability, you have to choose the transport carrier for you. Similarly, in the market, right, IT market, you have to choose the tools, the mindset, the culture based on your requirements, based on your IT requirements. Okay, that is what you have to choose it. The next one is the notion of shifting the left. What is this? The DevOps methodology encourages the notion of shifting left. Means most DevOps tools and solutions are automated throughout to make traceability easier. Traditionally performed activities during the later stages of the development and deployment process are now restoring to shifting to the left of the pipeline. The main goal is to identify issues at an earlier stage. Whatever you think is just 2 points here, I can say the main goal is to identify issues at the earlier stage with the DevOps. What it says, notion to shifting left. What is this? If you understand, if you have seen the development life cycle in the earlier stage, unless it goes to the testing environment, will not find any issues. What happens? That time earlier, the issues being found by the testers in the testing environment or quality check environment, and then it has to again come back to the development. The time of checking, doing all these things and shifting back to the development and again development team fixing the issue, it was taking lots of time, right? So here in DevOps, shifting left means notion of shifting left. Very quickly, in the tools itself, we'll find the errors, and the bugs immediately can be delivered to the DevOps development team, and they can start working on that. We'll reduce the time of finding the bug, finding the error, and sending back to the development. So it will be very, notion of shifting left is very early stage. We can find the bugs. Even we can find the bugs in the requirement analysis or requirement gathering, system design, we can find any bugs or any issues in that. Then we can shift left, then fix it there, and again come back to the right and start working. Okay. Now, downtime. I just told you before examples of Facebook and all these things, right? There are many benefits when it comes to adopting the DevOps framework in the workforce. For starters, It enables enterprises to enhance quality and cadence and even ensure uptime. So most robust IT organizations have been shifting to DevOps practices, and it has been proven that they can make deployments 200 times faster. Yes, whatever the companies, because I have in my 16 years of experience, 16 plus years of experience, I have done multiple automations, and I have seen very good, very satisfied result. Whatever the things were being done by days of time by the engineers, if you do automations, it will be done fractions of seconds, fractions of in every minutes it can be done. 1 or 2 minutes or even fractions of seconds, the automations, the things can be done. That's what you will get it. In DevOps, you will see very less downtime. Even you will not see any downtime there. In Kubernetes, we'll learn that stops there. In not even in Kubernetes, even in any all the tools, whatever we're going to learn, we'll see how we can minimize the downtime. Even we'll not see any downtime at all. That's why I was telling you, even Saturday, Sunday, every day, the Facebook will be upgrading their features, right? Enhancing the features. But we don't see any downtime. How? How they are achieving it? That's we are going to see in the class. Okay. Now, next one is collaboration of big data and DevOps. DevOps and big data together have taken a step forward towards the predictive analysis. This resulted DevOps becoming one of the most reliable tools for automating processes as well as configurations. So collaborating of big data into DevOps will get lots of predictive analysis, because big data, whatever, because current market is playing with data only. The data has the power now. The actual money is the data, right? If you have the data, you'll be the millionaire or you'll be the billionaire. Like most of the companies in the market, right? They're selling the data only, the customer data, the people's data, everyone, they're selling the data, and that is the price. That is the money actually in the market, right? You all know. Okay, so we learn about all this. Now let's see what is the tools on high demand and what are the tools we are going to learn in this class. Okay, so the tools, one is the Git, right? This for the source code management and for code repository, right? For source code management and code repository, we are going to learn Git. Next is the GitHub. It is the source code management, but remote repository. Git will be act as a local repository, and GitHub will be act as your remote repository. So we are going to learn the remote repository and the source code management. That is most important in DevOps. Other one is the Jenkins. What is this Jenkins? It's a build management tool, CI/CD. For CI/CD, unit test, quality assurance, and integration testing, we all are going to use Jenkins. Mostly it is being used for continuous integration and continuous delivery. Okay, the continuous build, continuous testing, everything will happen in the Jenkins. We are going to learn very well this one. The other one we are going to learn Ansible. What is this Ansible? It is mainly used for configuration management and continuous deployment. Configuration management and continuous deployment, CM and CD. The other one is the Docker for containerizations, containerize your applications. The another one is the Kubernetes, which we are going to learn for container orchestration platform, application deployment and microservices. We are going to learn Kubernetes. The last one we are going to learn the Terraform. It's the infrastructure as code, ISE, to automate or to do the infrastructure automations, cloud infrastructure automations. So these are the tools we are going to, these are the 7 tools we are going to learn in our class. But you'll be thinking in your mind, right? Do you really need all these tools to become a DevOps engineer? In fact, the DevOps engineer actually should have all these tools knowledge, should have knowledge to start working for the organizations. But starting a career with DevOps, we don't really need all these tools to learn. But having knowledge, because this is, as I said, this is not big rocket science, or this not big things to learn, right? It's very small things, but the way I'll guide you, the way I'll teach you with from the scratch, from the very root level to write the code and all this, it will be very easy to learn the things. But the thing is, as I said, always, you have to be master in one or two tools to get immediate entry to the DevOps field. Once you got entry, you have to now explore yourself to learn all this and get mastery on this. But I would see, I have all these experiences on all these tools. So you'll be thinking, do you really have worked in the companies in one company, all these tools? No. In my 16 years experience, I have worked for 5 or 6 companies, right? So different companies have different tools I have used. But one companies I have used 4 tools. Because see, DevOps engineer, if there is some infrastructure work is going on, some new automations being set up in delivery for, they'll call a DevOps engineer to give some ideas. What are the skills a DevOps engineer has? He has to provide it. And he has to give an idea, a suggestion to the organization, to the company, right? These are the tools, or these are the automations process we have to follow in order to achieve the customer requirement. You have to give these details, right? So that is where we are going to learn all these things. And don't worry, guys, everything will be a fun. And this class, let's make it very interactive. Interactive means you have to ask me questions at any time if you have any doubt, because there are lots of key terms what we are going to learn, और आप लोगों को पता नहीं होगा कि वो वाला ये टर्म क्या है, राइट? तो उसी टाइम पे ये सब पूछ लेना चाहिए कि ये भाई क्या है और ये कैसे काम करता है, राइट? अगर हम लोग इसको नहीं समझते अर्ली स्टेज में, उसमें क्या होगा ना, आप करते जाओगे तो जब पूरा सीखोगे उस टाइम में क्या होगा, नहीं आपको बहुत दिक्कत होगा कि ये जो टर्म हम लोग छोड़ दिए थे, नहीं पता था, अभी काम में आ रहा है. So you have to learn each and everything and you have to ask me immediately, right? जो भी पूछना है immediately पूछो, आराम से मैं बता दूंगा, कुछ जल्दीबाजी नहीं है, but you have to show 100% dedication. If you have mind fluctuating, as human nature, human being, minds will always get fluctuate, right? If you learn these things, that thing, that thing. Even I was also doing initially after my college pass out. I was learning all these stuff here and there, but at last I got a job and then I settled down, and then I realized going behind everything is not a final solution. So you have to stick into one, right? Each field you have to stick into one to work on and focus on that. Once you get mastery, then you can find new recipe for your test, right? A safe, right? Initially you would have done only 1 or 2 dishes, and that will be the highlighted in the restaurant. But once he gets more mastery into that cookery, right? He will get all the recipes comes into the mind, but he got the experience, right? He can do whatever you want. Then you can prepare that food, a different recipe with different recipe and different dishes, right? Same thing. Just get entry into the DevOps, learn something, do whatever experience. Once you got into that and start working, you'll come to know all those ideas. It will automatically come to your mind. You don't have to worry, don't have to struggle at it. It's very easy. Okay. What is the DevOps career? The DevOps field is currently a high sought after option in the IT industry due to its potential for high salaries and career growth. In the current days, almost all companies adopting DevOps culture, and all of them are migrating their infrastructure into cloud, right? That's the reason That's the reason there is a huge requirement of cloud and DevOps engineers in the current market. Okay, most of the companies actually they're adopting the DevOps culture. They're migrating their infrastructure to cloud. Before they were into on-premises, now they are migrating to the cloud. We'll have this in this class. I'm just give you one or two services of the cloud, because all the DevOps, whatever we are going to learn, everything will be on the cloud itself. I'm not going to do in my laptop. I'll log into the cloud. I'll show you the services, what are the services I'm going to use it. And before using that services, I'll go through that services with you. You have one or two classes on those services. Then we can move into the DevOps, install all the tools and start working in there. Okay. So the job role, I am actually currently working as a DevOps architect. Okay. DevOps architect. I'm working as a DevOps architect. So there will be different roles. You can work as DevOps architect, DevOps release manager, DevOps security engineer, DevOps test engineer. So based on that, what you want to be in that. So DevOps architect creates a productive DevOps environment with the right tools, methodologies, and processes. They also monitor and review all technical operations. So when I say the right tools and the methodologies, remember, DevOps is not a methodology, but it follows the agile methodology. DevOps falls under agile methodology. Okay. So DevOps release manager. So what is the DevOps career as a release manager involves setting the quality standards of software builds and effectively managing the CI/CD pipeline. The release manager. Security manager involves ensuring high security throughout all the stages. DevOps test engineer. Test engineer is responsible for setting up the tests to check and verify the code as per the quality standards. Okay, so you have to actually sometimes what happens, a DevOps engineer does all these roles also. As I said, once a chef got mastery on the cookery side, right? On the cook, what will happen? He can do anything, right? Whatever the dishes you do by the recipe from his book or from his mind, he can do from his experience. Actually, he can do whatever the dishes you want to order. Similarly, in DevOps, once you enter, do all the works, you can do all of these things. And definitely you'll come across all these roles also. Okay? See, these are the salaries they are offering in the market. From DevOps, actually, 10 to 19 years experience, they are even offering 25 to 32, but this actually less. Even more companies are giving 30 to 40 lakhs. Okay? Here, 5 to 10 years, it's giving 15 to 30 lakhs. Okay, and if you see here, 3 to 8 years for Adeco Group DevOps engineer, they are offering 25 to 40 lakhs. Remember, and this is the Bangalore locations, right? That's what, guys. Now we'll go into the question answer mode. If you have any questions, you can ask. As I said, let's make it interactive. Ask any questions, right? Even very simple, basic questions, that's okay. Because sometimes a master has to learn from his very young child or very young student, right? Master also learns from the students. So better ask questions. If I don't know also, we can discuss each other. Okay. So just as we finished up this class, you can go home. I'll share these recordings with you. You can share with your friend circles if you have. Okay. So if they want to enroll, now this, because you guys already have enrolled, if someone has to enroll for a great career, can register in this register.malinbluetech.com. So they can join this class also.